video. This video, I'm gonna just be talking about why I'm leaving spirituality, or the whole new age spiritual thing, right? So if y'all don't know, if y'all remember what, it's 2 years ago, maybe almost 3 years ago, especially in 2020, it was a big old shift in consciousness, a big spiritual community out there in the world, and it became mainstream. And I want to say that, first and foremost, the whole spiritual community, the whole wellness, is still great. There's still very nice aspects of it that I like. Like, still, I feel like overall it's very positive. But, let's begin with, the biggest creators, or the most popular, quote unquote, spiritual people. Spiritual Soul, Foster, Von Cut at one point, and so many more I'm missing out, right? Everybody remembers that whole wave, that whole, it was just, I can remember just, tuning into their videos. Even before they blew up, I remember, like, it just started off, especially Spiritual Soul, he was just trying to do a stop smoking video. And, I was getting onto that around that time too, before it became, super mainstream. And he even predicted a lot of things, like, that saying that would go mainstream. It's so crazy. But he was a part of a lot of people's journey, and helped a lot. And I really appreciate that. Like, I feel like more so than not, genuinely, people would just, the whole point of the spiritual new age is that people want to help people at the end of the day. And I appreciate that, because I remember, like, especially around 2020, for some reason, everybody thought the world was going to end on December 21st. And, it was just 2020 was just a very important year, and a very crazy time. And it brought, spiritual aspects like veganism and everything, and non-GMO, just things of that nature into the mainstream world. And that was very important. But there is a thing that's, I think a lot of times I struggle with, when you first started out doing it, I remember I was doing, cold showers, meditating like almost every day, just, making sure I'm eating food that's quote unquote real. And, in the beginning, it was just so great, you just discovering yourself. It's just really self-discovery. And I know a lot of people in the community are young, and we're naturally suited to that. But I feel like I dug so deep into the rabbit holes a lot. It truly is a journey, and it still is in a way. But the one thing that I'm trying to get away from is the whole identifying with it. Just more like it started seeming more like a cult, or a religion in a way, or I'm a part of this group, so I gotta think this certain way, or if people eating this, or they doing these things, they're not quote unquote spiritual or woke, or whatever you want to call it. And I would see a lot of other people bash other people for doing this and saying, you're not this, you're not that, you're not spiritual, and it really kind of lost the whole spirit of just being yourself and just doing your own type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just really more into I'm my own being. That's my spirituality. I'm not spiritual, because, you start thinking that way and getting into that way, and you start looking down on people. I didn't necessarily like how other people just call you out and say you're not this or you're not that. And even yourself, sometimes you'll have self-guilt and just about things that, who said, who gave these rules, who started these spiritual rules, how do y'all know, you know what I mean? So it was really just coming into my own, just understanding that, all these practices doesn't make me better than the next person, or it doesn't make me I don't know more than the next man, you know what I mean? So it's really just about, like I said, just being my own individual, just thinking for myself and having my own way of life, my own being, my own, just me. I'm just me at the end of the day. I'm not spiritual. I'm not a part of that. Because I noticed one thing that we as humans like to do, we like to surround ourselves with familiarity. We like being a part of groups, a part of religions, we like just being a part of something familiar, you know what I'm saying? Instead of the unknown, or just being just one, or just oneself. We like to attach ourselves. People ask us, what do you do for work? What's your religion? What do you, you know what I'm saying? So they ask these questions and they're not asking who are you. Instead, they're asking what do you do? What are the things that are attached to you instead of who are you or what are you? You know what I mean? That's really what I'm trying to get to. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like the spiritual, all that, the spirituality part of you, I still like it. Like I still take aspects from it just as I would anything else. You know, it's not just a one-way street with it, in my opinion. I feel like, you know, a lot of people just, they stick to these certain standards that they set for themselves and think that they confine themselves into that box. And I'm really just not trying to confine myself. You know, I'm, like I said, we started this channel with having an open mind, and now I'm getting more into just trying to free my mind more so. So I gotta just, you know, expand my mind, because it's bigger than just spiritual. It's bigger. This life is just too complex. We're humans. We're a bunch of things. I'm not just one. You know, I don't think this way. You know, in a way, it's something I don't know what it's called. You know, I believe in everything and nothing at the same time. Like I can believe in every conspiracy and I can believe that it's not true at the same time. You know what I mean? So, you know, yeah, like I said, just having an open mind and a freedom of mind, knowing that, you know, sometimes you think something's right. And for me, I always have that feeling like, even when I know or I feel like something's right, I gotta have that same notion that it may be wrong, or it might not be the case, or I might just be thinking something different, or it just, you know what I'm saying, it's just not the case. Like, even if I'm right 100%, even if I have my brain to convince me that something, you know, just like on the movie The Matrix, my brain is telling me that this food is good, but that very, you know what I'm saying, if y'all have seen The Matrix, go watch it. But yeah, like, sometimes all this could definitely be in our head, and you go down so many rabbit holes. And another thing I didn't like about spirituality was the conspiracies. Like, a lot of the times I feel like they made you feel as if, you know, certain characters or certain celebrities were just at this such high pedestal, and that we were never, you know what I'm saying, they're this higher up. Like, what made them so special? At the same time, it kind of brings you down. Like, wow, you know, it's a lot of negativity in it, I believe. Like, wow, these people are just so rich and famous that they control the world, or they do this, you know. It kind of had me just real iffy about that. So spirituality, once again, it's a great aspect. If you have spiritual practices, don't, you know what I'm saying, don't take my word for it. Once again, I'm not no God. Like, I'm not no, I wouldn't say God, we all gods. I'm not no, you know, some teacher or some guy you should listen to orders from. I'm just saying, take my experiences and then, you know, apply it to yours, or just have some critical thinking, have an open mind to it. Because you never, like, you know, you just never know. You sometimes you could block a blessing or block another door into something, blocking your mind from stuff that you just gotta be open to. Gotta be free to, you know, like, dare to, you know, see the unknown sometimes, or even just see the other side. Try to look at it from all aspects. And I feel like with spirituality, or mainstream spirituality, it kind of kept me in a box in a way. Even with my food choices, like, you if you really go down in the rabbit hole, you'll learn that, you know, all food is basically trash. Like, most of everything is meant going against us, you know, even, and we're just going in the spiritual aspects. A lot of people apply their spiritual practices into their political views, and, you know, like, you know, the whole right wing, left wing, all that, you know. And a lot of times we tend to contradict ourselves. It's a big contradiction in life. I figured out is very contradicting at times. It's extremely complicated. Like, I don't know all the answers. No, none of us do, but we all act as if we do know these answers, and deep down, we just don't. You know, we're just trying to figure this thing out. In the midst of all of it, we tend to judge each other and tend to say this is wrong and this is right, when we're just trying to figure this out. We're figuring this out. We don't even know what's at the bottom of the ocean yet. You know, we're trying to tell what people can do and what people cannot do. And, you know, we should just, I feel like, you know, just feeling that we should all just come into our own and understand our differences, or not even understand them, just, you know, accept our differences and, you know, move forward with that. You know, we have wars, political, like if you really just look around, the world is almost into like a chaos in a way. And it's really just finding that light in the chaos, and each and every day just finding yourself, whether it's through spirituality practices, or you know, whether it's through some type of religion you learn, sports, physical health, mental health, anything, emotional health, anything that's gonna keep you forward. That's really what I'm trying to get to. Anything that's gonna expand my mind or just make me a better person. And not trying to judge anybody else, because we're all experiencing something different, but we're all experiencing it at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, spirituality was, once again, just like anything new. You ever try a new diet or new something, the first few weeks of it, first few years of it, you're gonna feel amazing. And then until, you know, it starts just feeling amazing all the time. You know, you're gonna wanna switch it up. As natural as we are as humans, we're always gonna be, you know, never satisfied, because like it just doesn't work like that. We're never gonna reach that point to where we're like, okay, that's it. It just don't go. We just do as much as we can until our time is up. And hopefully, you know, you free your mind to artists, any type of person y'all listen to, if it's Spiritual Soul, Vaughn, Tuka, whoever, Foster, and some other guys I may be missing. You know, don't necessarily do everything that they do, or just take even other people, just try to do your things your own way, and then don't necessarily tear others down while doing your own way. You know what I'm saying? Or judge others for not doing something that you may think is right or you may think is wrong. At the same time, just do you at the end of the day. And once again, remember to just free your mind.